Recording in progress.
They're so lucky.
Loose
Women are so
clothing.
lucky. They can pull their shirts down.
Well, women can really do a lot of things
Pull their
fashion-wise
tops
that men
down.
could never do. Ever. The fact that women get to hike their pants past their belly button and that's just cool now.
I do that.
Screw that.
Do you not
but
like
I
your
mean,
belly button?
But they I feel like they have their pants designed for it. I mean, it makes sense.
No,
We've got
they do.
More going down there. We could probably squish some valuables, but it is a little like you get to hide your little rolls with that.
You do.
I don't get to do that.
You do. And you don't get
I mean,
to,
you
the
know,
camel
you
toe as
you
much.
could.
That's true. I get to moose. We call that a moose knuckle where I'm from. A moose knuck, dude. That's a male's camel toe.
That sounds so...
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah,
what
tell
the-
me it's wrong though. When you see a moose knuck, you say
A moose knuck.
that's what it's called, dude. I'm pretty sure it's
Wait, okay.
Webster's
Let's be graphic for a second. So you're saying a moose knuck is like the
It's one
fabric
ball
is
that's-
in your nuts. Your nuts are on each side.
yeah.
Is it
doesn't
splitting it,
matter
or is it?
No, it really doesn't matter which like exact splits going on. But if whatever's getting smushed once, it's a male camel toe. Whenever you see something protruding in the camel toe area, it's a moose knuck. That's the
Moose knuck.
That's the abbreviated version. I don't know.
That's gross. You know, for some reason, moose knuck. That's such a. It reminds me of It's in the same air of like cream my pants.
Oh yeah, I don't like that now.
It's like it has that same vibe. Moose knuck and cream my pants.
Sounds like a good coffee
I just
drink. to
Creamed
me.
my pants.
I'll have a large moose knuck with sugar.
And could you cream the pants for me?
And could you cream the pants for me just a little bit, sir?
Extra cream for the pants.
Let's get back to that. Should we get back to the slap? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
where we
dude,
20
so-
minutes on this.
We're good, right?
Okay.
We're good.
Yeah, we're good. So your take on is
You
it real?
like
fake?
the idea
Right.
of it being fake.
I love the idea of it being fake. I think it's really interesting. What I was saying is that there are people who have lashed out at me for having just the idea of it. And the thing is I don't care.
Right.
Like it doesn't, like it's not political or anything. Like it's not, but I've had people like send me dissertations on why it was real.
It's
Like
a whole-
I posted on my story, the joke I posted was my political beliefs are that that this was fake or that it was staged.
Mm-hmm.
And I had people send me actual like paragraphs of why it wasn't fake. I'm like, why do you care so much? There's like it doesn't matter. But I think that I love people being like, no, it felt so real. And then I love being like, that he just won Best Oscar. Or he just won the Oscar for Best Actor.
Yeah.
He is an actor. They are both actors.
And they're like, no. But then did you see Denzel Washington comfort him after? I'm like, Denzel Washington also won Best Actor.
It's the perfect inside job, folks.
I know. I'm like, this is pretty airtight.
Yeah,
in terms of like,
No,
could they
I could
fake
believe
something?
it. I could believe it. I could. It was so real.
They're like, no, because like it was so like it felt awkward. I'm like, yeah, no, the crowd didn't know.
Yeah.
Like they were definitely not in on it.
Suspicious camera angle.
But
for
in
your
this
point too, right?
Suspicious
Great
camera
for
angle,
a fake slap.
I want you to go watch the clip. Maybe in the video version, Phil can put up the video. I want you to watch Chris Rock. He has his hands behind his back very awkwardly and very like steadfastly. Like he's like bracing. If you look, it looks like he's holding his hands behind his back and he's like bracing for it. If someone gets in your face, the least you're going to do, doesn't matter if they're your best friend, if they get up out of a chair and walk up to you into your face,
Create some
the
distance.
hand's gonna come up.
It's true. I did it without even you.
Really?
I just did it right now.
Yeah. If it was like, or even to the side, even like, whoa, what's going on? He remained in the same posture he had pre Will Smith standing up, and he maintained it, which made me feel like he was squeezing his hand and getting ready for it. Okay. Now there are other videos you can watch of Will Smith in slow motion going for the slap, and it looks like because there's only one angle. Notice that. Surely, okay, we're talking a global broadcast, and there's one angle, and we're only going to see that. Okay, and from that angle, it's the perfect angle to fake a slap.
Now, I'd like to remind everybody, Trey does not care.
And I
about
don't
this.
care.
He doesn't care.
It doesn't
but that's very,
matter.
It's very compelling. It's very compelling.
Dude,
I'm
this is
almost
some
believing you now.
conspiracy theory stuff.
It's kind of fun.
This is the most conspiracy theory I've ever seen Trey before.
See, it's
So
fun.
it
really
It's
does.
one
fun
angle?
to go down that rabbit hole.
The Oscars?
Like actual conspiracies where there's more at stake.
But
I'm
it's
like,
true.
nah.
No one was going to talk about
Let's
the
talk about
Oscars.
this
No one was going
slap
to talk about the
to the face.
Oscars until that happened. That the Oscars were going to be forgotten. No one even knew what's happening, in my
Here-
opinion.
That's 100% true.
I do agree with that.
Here, it was like I had heard, at least anecdotally, I don't know if it's true. We can fact check me, but I had heard that it was like the lowest viewership in like the history, or like in 20 years or something like that. That it actually wasn't going well. So I'm not even saying that it was like a mid-game audible.
I was going to. That was going to be like exact
No, they were
verbiage.
like, we'll go in for the slap
All right,
now.
Will.
The contingency
he's
plan.
like, I can't. He's like, you're going to
He's
have
like, please,
to.
I might win. They're like, do it, Will.
If you don't, I'm going to. Bang you. If you don't, I'm going to bang your wife.
Yeah, again. It's the guy who Jada had the affair with.
No,
He's
me,
blackmailing
Will?
him.
No. Sam? That's right.
That's right.
Sam who banged your wife? That's right. If you,
I run the Oscars, Will. I've been behind the scenes. Why do you think Kevin Hart didn't get it? Me. I run this shit.
no, but then I had one more point. Oh yeah, so it was just wasn't going well. Like there wasn't hype. No one was talking about it. And what happened to me is what I imagine happened to millions, if not billions, of people. Someone texted me during the show and said, "Did you hear that that Will Smith just slapped Chris Rock?" And instantly, I was on Twitter reading tweets. I was Google searching, and it just was. It had to be just bliss, like publicity heaven. For the Oscars. And now everyone's talking about the Oscars. I don't know, where the money is.
It's true. It's hard to compete with World War III, but you drop Chris Rock getting slapped. Whew.
Another thing. There's so much. There's so much other shit to be worried about and focused on right now.
Yeah.
But sometimes for multiple minutes in a row, every day by myself, I just think about I sit like this, and I just think about Will Smith and Chris Rock.
Yeah, just getting slapped across the face.
Just by myself. Someone's like, "What are you doing?" Oh no, I was just.
Oh, nothing. I'm just scared to be a comedian.
But
now.
it was me giving so many shits about whether or not the slap was fake. Anyways, that's my whole thing. I won't talk another minute about it.
I liked it. Can I jump in why I think it's real?
It's your turn.
Yes.
I think Will Smith looked like either drunk or something. And when he's leaning back in his chair, he's like,
Really?
"Get my wife's name." I mean, I was like, "Oh, this is going to be bad for him." Like,
Oh, yeah.
I was like, he's going to regret this instantly. Like, that's the only thing I can think of. Like, Will Smith, you've done so many voiceovers for like Disney Plus. Welcome to Will Smith's Love the World and Nature. I love nature. Get my wife's name. It's such a contrast. Not Fresh Prince.
I love the idea of him being drunk, but he was so drunk that he woke up the next morning. He's like, "I did what?"
Yeah, he's like, "Yeah, I won. Yeah, but also,
Yeah, I was gonna say.
kind of.
you did win, but not the way you think. You also lost. Oh no.
You lost big time, Will.
Oh my gosh.
No, so I wanna go in. So Trey is pro fake. I am pro real.
Me too. I'm on your team.
And I want to go a little history lesson. So that I read about. 2016 Oscars. I think Chris Rock is hosting, and he makes a joke about Jada not being invited to the Oscars, or she was boycotting. Do you remember this? She was boycotting. He's like, she was boycotting. She wasn't even invited in the first place. That's like me boycotting Rihanna's panties. I was never invited. Hilarious joke,
That's
right?
way better than this one.
Yeah.
I know.
Way more
And
tasteful.
so, okay. And I love your point about like him leaning forward, Chris Rock leaning forward. I thought he was leaning forward as like he was expecting a hug. That's the way I viewed it. And I mean, plus, like, you can't put your hands up on national TV.
Imagine the whiplash.
He's like,
I know.
Literally and
What?
figuratively, you're expecting
It was. And like, because you see his face. Have you seen the shot? It's like he's smiling. Chris Rock is smiling mid slap.
Yeah, he's like,
because he thought he was gonna get a dab, or he thought he was gonna get a hug. And then you watch Chris Rock talk afterwards, and he can't speak straight.
Yeah, that's the proof. That's the proof in the pudding.
He says Will Smith slapped the shit out of me. He's like, "You did not fuck mouth." And then he's like, we're here to give a documentary, an award for a documentary." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, no." He got slapped for real.
Because when Will Smith walked on the stage, I was like, "Oh, he's gonna like make him flinch." That was. I'm like, I don't know why.
Oh,
This
really?
is gonna make him flinch. And then I was like, oh, I mean, it was left field for me. So I mean, I don't know.
Wait, were you watching live?
No, I left. I was at.
No one
I
was
was at
watching
Kelly.
live.
I was at.
That's my point.
I was at Kelly's Oscar party, and I left before it happened. So that's
no.
like leaving a baseball game before your team, hits a home run
does
and
a
gets a grand
walk-off,
slam. But
Yeah,
like,
no, that's bigger than a grand slam. That'd be like that's like leaving before your I don't know, the other team combusts, just explodes out of nowhere.
Or even this, the batter walks up and slaps the pitcher on the face. Even that. you'd be like,
umpire walks
I
by
can't watch
and decks
Or
him,
this,
dude.
Will Smith and Chris Rock walking out of the dugout,
That's
and
where
WillIth slaps Chris Rock in the face.
I watched The Longest Yard yesterday, and I wanted to pause the scene where have you guys seen The Longest Yard?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know when he gets blown up by the radio. I wanted to pause it and make a meme, but I didn't. It's the saddest part of the movie, but it's like, I mean, it's just like, man, Chris Rock is getting wrecked everywhere I look right now.
Yeah,
So-
well, apparently his ticket sales for stand-up are like skyrocketing
So
right
that
now.
so that goes towards Trey's point though a little
It
bit.
does.
That does go
He's
towards
like,
Trey's
this will look
point.
good for me. Yeah,
I
that's
think
interesting.
that history
He's
will
relevant.
look back on both of them kindly. People have such short-term memory that the details of what happened are comedian makes fun of man's wife, man slaps comedian, that's it.
Yeah.
There's like I feel like the emotional part of it of people who obviously are like what Will Smith did was wrong. People forgive celebrities so damn fast.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
For doing atrocious things. Look at the NFL. They slap their wives.
Oh,
Guess
God.
what?
They do more.
Tyreek Hill just got signed for like $120 million.
Some of them,
everyone
some of them
loves him.
commit murder too.
Who's the freaking Browns quarterback? Deshaun Watson, right?
That-
Oh yeah, uh-huh.
He's the
He
quarterback
has
for the Browns.
22 allegations.
I think it's 32.
I mean, either way,
Let him
if
stack
you're
up.
above one,
If it's more than 0, maybe
Something's
we
up.
shouldn't idolize you. All right, you get one. I'm kidding. No, but that's the thing is like both of them. I think so. All right, last thing I'll say.
Because you don't
yeah,
care.
Trey,
Because you don't care.
You
'Cause Trey
weren't
doesn't
going to talk
care.
about it ever again. You didn't care.
I think that like I could see them being with their like PR experts and they're talking about it. They're like, you're gonna face some blowback for sure, but it's gonna revitalize your career. Like everyone's gonna see everything you do. Chris Rock, you're about to go on your conceivably last world tour.
Yeah.
Your tickets are gonna sell. You're both gonna make so much money from this. You're gonna be a meme. You're gonna be like talked about everywhere. Like celebrities love nothing more than exactly what
than
we're doing right
themselves.
now.
Than
It's
themselves,
talking about them. Yeah, exactly.
Hey,
Yeah,
but
that's
you
true.
know something something
true.
good that did come out of this, like a lot of things were like overshadowed, like a lot of Oscar winners were overshadowed and stuff, but no one is talking about Amy Schumer, and I think that's a beautiful thing.
That's a huge win.
No one.
It's actually Amy Schumer who set it up. Okay, Will.
Well, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. That was the other thing I was gonna say about this, about like the history lesson thing I was talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Will and Jada's relationship is weird, dude.
Yeah.
And it's like Jada's
Hey,
publicly
is your door
said,
locked right now? Because make sure your door's locked. Will Smith might just.
Will Smith, fuck.
That would be the
Keep
funniest
my
thing ever.
No, but their relationship is weird. It's
Say who she
public knowledge that she liked Tupac more than Will Smith, and that like she doesn't love Will Smith as much as she loved Tupac. Like we all know that.
Yeah.
And we all know that she sleeps with like whoever she wants. It's weird, man. So yeah, I think Will felt like he had to slap her because he laughed at the joke. He saw she wasn't impressed. He went and slapped her.
And that goes towards it being real. That's to me one of the pieces of evidence that's like if it was staged, Will Smith wouldn't have laughed at first because that made it weird that he like laughed about it and then was like, actually no.
It could have been like a slow processing unit at that point. Like, oh, wait a second.
Right.
Wait a
I
second.
think that's
I
what
like that.
happened, but I don't think that they would have faked that. That's what I'm saying. It does make me kind of think that it was
Right.
real.
He would have been pissed off from the beginning. That'd be too. That's too much.
Right.
That's too much smartness going
That's
on.
too much.
Yeah,
noise.
dude. I mean, yeah, the Jada stuff
It's
is
weird.
what makes it real to me because their relationship is
she
freaking
kind of like, she
weird.
kind of like owns him a little bit. You
Yeah,
guys-
she really does.
I'm not gonna lie.
I feel like he doesn't have any power in that relationship.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know anything
Smith.
about them.
Imagine being Will Smith and not wearing the pants.
Women
You're
around the world,
so-
man.
You are literally an I Am Legend. and you
He is legend.
are scared of your wife.
That's his second thing. I am legend.
Who, by the way, can we
Again.
talk about it because it's a comedy podcast? He could do better? Question mark.
Then Jada.
He could do better? Question mark.
Oh,
How about
absolutely.
almost any other girl in the world?
Guys, I'm a little scared. For our
So,
comedy show, we are going to get shot at our
No,
comedy show.
I don't care. Why have a podcast if not to talk about these things?
I'm good.
Like, why does she have so much control over him? Does she have blackmail
Yeah.
over him? Is it witchcraft? I'm just wondering. It's
She
witchcraft.
and Tom Brady's wife are just like best friends. Her and Tom Brady, like, okay, we're gonna do a silence for Tom Brady tonight, but
Tom Brady in the headset's like, "Hello, Will."
Will, hey
Yes.
buddy, hey buddy, hey Will. So you're gonna want to, for your sake, for your wife's sake, you're gonna want to slap Chris Rock.
Yeah, that's one
I
of
am
the
sleeping
theories
with
that.
your wife.
Let's go for it, Phil.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
That's one of the theories that I heard is that Jada mind controlled Will Smith and like operated him onto the stage and.
I want to see.
He gets home like, oh, what happened? Nothing, sweetie.
Jada Smith ratatouille'd.
Yeah.
Will.
Somewhere there is, because it's multiple cameras and the camera angles change or whatever, but somewhere there is just the camera that was just on Will Smith. We haven't seen the
I
transition from
wanna
him
see
laughing
that.
and smiling to how abrupt was it?
His
was
eyes.
it like, and then he just like,
His eyes just roll, his
Yeah.
eyes roll back in his head.
that
Like,
would be weird.
Yeah, his eyes just turn completely black.
destroy Chris
Pupils
Rock.
dilate.
Destroy-
I'm saying they cut away during that moment. Another point for it being fake.
Keep my wife's name out of your mouth. Jada rocks. Jada rocks.
She's pulling up Bruce Almighty. She's like typing.
I prefer my wife to be bald.
I think it's sexy.
And you know what, Jada? Have sex with whoever you want. Honestly, I love it.
I can't do better than Jada Smith. I can't do better than Jada Smith.
Yeah, dude.
The sad thing is that
it's weird, man.
Last thing I'll say.
Yeah.
The sad,
This is Trey's fourth last thing, folks.
the sad thing is, as a comic, that Chris Rock's joke wasn't funnier. Like he got slapped over
For a
joke.
light joke. Yeah,
That
it was like passing.
Yeah.
He was like excited for G.I. Jane 2, okay? And then it was like, and that movie's like what, 20 years old?
Yeah.
Most people
Yeah.
are like, what's G.I.
I had to.
Jane?
Oh, I had to Google it.
I did no
I
idea.
had to Google it right away. I was like, oh, I understand now.
She's saying
I saw the
she
cover
was-
and I was like, oh, I get the joke. But the that's the thing is like
But
he just
the
said it like the
panty
last
joke
little
was
passing.
way better.
Oh, yeah.
That's what you want to get slapped over. You
The
want to
what
be
joke?
Like, the one where he said like,
Oh, the
Jada didn't even
Rihanna
get
panties
invited
joke.
to the Oscars.
I think
terrible
that's
Chris
the thing
Rock.
is I think
Trey,
that's
you're
why
Chris
it's
Rock
real.
on.
I think that's why it's real because it was like a passing joke. Like he was gonna go like say it like it's the last little dish and then I'm gonna go on to the next thing.
Yeah.
And so to get slapped over that, he was like, oh, what did I? Uh-oh.
Also, being bald. Can we talk about this? If it was a man, would not have mattered.
You mean
I think
if
his
who was a man?
if
Jada.
Jay was a man.
Oh yeah.
A ball joke is totally
No.
in bounds.
You can make fat, bald, you can do whatever you
especially
want.
if he has alopecia.
Absolutely. Actually, you should.
I like to think Chris Rock did a
You,
lot
you,
for
you could make
equality.
a
the
tasteful moose knuckle joke.
Yeah. Exactly. Dude. It's yep.
Someone said it's a good thing that Chris was the Rock that was on stage and not like the Rock.
I know, yeah. I saw that meme a lot. If it was Dwayne the Rock Johnson, Will Smith would be like, "Oh yeah, very funny."
Well,
man.
he's staying in
He
his
slaps himself in the
He's staying in
face.
his chair.
G.I. Jane, hilarious. I get that reference. Yeah. Okay. So something I don't have a very good Chris Rock impression, but like
Maybe that's
I
okay.
want to do an impression of like Chris Rock talking to his like PR person like right after he got off stage. You know, the PR person's like, "Hey Chris, how you doing, man? How am I doing? Bitch, have you been on Twitter? Things aren't looking good. I've been mean, bitch. Chris, what happened? I got slapped, motherfucker, by Will Smith. Is that some sort of a black colloquialism? I don't understand. No, bitch.
That's awesome.
Pretty good.
I love that.
That's a good bit.
I love that. I think.
Is this episode called The Slap 2?
Oh, the sequel.
The return of the slap.
Oh,
We
man.
really blew our wad when it came to naming stuff.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
Well, if it's not penis related, I feel like where
I know.
our names aren't very
We're
good.
way below our penis references, and
Yeah.
I have not hit my Hitler quota in a while.
Yeah, it's been a
either.
while.
Proud of you, buddy.
That's
If
good.
I
You're
could
really
just talk
grown.
about-
You have a coin.
If I could talk about Hitler's penis, I would.
What do we think? What do we think? Circumcised, uncircumcised? I mean, come on. There's a lot to work with there. There's a lot to work with there.
It's got like a little mustache. It's got like its own little. It's got its own. Little,
That's disgusting. That's
he definitely
okay,
calls him Little Fuhrer, dude.
this,
Little Fuhrer. That's my
this is the
Fuhrer.
one time. This is the one time I will indulge in a Hitler joke, where someone's like Hitler, and he's like, "Oh, hold on a second," and he's like shaving the stash. I got to make sure the little Fuhrer matches the big one. Hold on.
Every girl he ever slept with. He's like, what do you think about that? She's like, oh,
Well, I don't really like it on your face.
you took the worst part about you and you,
Okay.
you put it on your penis.
So dumb. Well, there you did it, Trey. We did it.
We did the
Hitler
Hitler penis
back.
joke. And
Give
we can
me
move
your
on.
coin. Give me your. Give me your.
my Hitler token.
And away.
Get one every month.
Yep.
Oh man,
You gotta earn it.
I am actually what you brought up about everyone knowing that Jada loves Tupac more is the perfect segue into going over our bits. If you guys are down for it, because I actually do have a joke that's very similar about my wife and how she's bald.
No way.
No. But yeah, she told me this story when we were engaged, I think. And she's like, okay, now that we're engaged, I can finally tell you something. I'm like, I'm not married to Kim Kardashian. Finally,
Okay,
now
Trey.
that we're married.
Now that we're married, I can finally tell you the truth.
You see Mitch get off the Zoom call, come through Phil's store and slap me.
Keep my sister's name.
Like, I totally get it. Do you want to stay for the pod though? It would have been so much easier if you had just recorded.
You could have done this the whole time.
Here.
I am Barry Allen.
No, so she said, yeah, now that we're getting married, I can tell you this. I journaled when I was a little girl that I either wanted to marry Jake Gyllenhaal or a black man with a tiny afro. And I was like, that's crazy. I'm the black man with the tiny afro. And for years, I was like, that's like from the moment, like she was a kid,
Yeah.
like she knew somehow we'd be together. Like we've been soulmates. But then like, I don't know, 2 years ago, I had this realization, an epiphany, if you will. Jake Gyllenhaal was her first choice.
Yeah.
I'm her backup plan to Jake Gyllenhaal. Here's the thing. Jake Gyllenhaal is still out there.
Here's what you do, Trey. Don't worry. You just slide the DVD Brokeback Mountain into the player, and you'll walk away. And then you spike your hair just a little bit and come back into the room.
Get your fro comb out. Give it a little volume, not too much.
Jake's
Got to keep it small.
Jake's just not into you, babe.
It's not your type.
But the joke being, well, so that's the premise. But then kind of going on with it, it's like, I think we all have irrational fears, right? And then maybe I ask someone, what's an irrational fear you have? What's the craziest fear?
Oh, do you want me to be the audience here?
Sure, be the audience. What's the craziest fear you have? That's
Oh,
irrational.
losing a loved one.
No, that's rational.
Oh, rational.
Yeah, it's very rational. That could happen
That is
today.
really real. I'm like, irrational fear. I'm like, one time somebody asked,
I don't know, being immortal? Is that irrational?
is that irrational? Irrational. Right. That is very rational. I'm like, no.
I hope that's what the crowd person says, because then I'll say
Like,
exactly what
oh,
I just
shit.
said.
Yeah.
I don't know. Mitch, do you have an irrational fear? I don't know if I do. Like,
I
okay,
mean, I
let
don't
me
know.
just-
Well, the
Spiders.
ocean, but that's pretty rational.
That's real too, yeah.
You guys are saying
I'm always
real things.
okay.
I-
Orange juice.
you know
Orange
what?
juice scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, I'm afraid of my
That's not
penis
real.
falling off.
Yeah,
Okay.
orange juice for me.
My
Good luck.
wiener falling off.
Good crowd work.
It's just completely derailed. This
Yeah, this is
gotta
why
be ready for this.
We're supposed
Right
to
hook,
be
Go
right-
and ask audience member stuff.
Hey, let's take it from the top. Irrational fear. I'm not gonna bring my family members into this.
All right. We all
What
have
are you afraid of?
irrational
My
fears.
wife dying. Orange juice. My penis. Oh, shut up. Everyone shut up.
Okay, I
I
got
regret
one.
this so much.
I got one.
It's the last time I tried to do crowd work. Okay. We all have irrational fears. You, sir.
I do.
Just in the very back, like really far back.
You, sir. What's your biggest irrational fear?
Oh man, I can't think on the spot like that. Maybe ask that other guy. He seems like he knows.
You, sir, do you have an irrational fear?
Yes.
Would you like to share it with?
Just like, if he has a trench coat, you can't talk to him. Okay.
I would never have called him. You sir, next to the guy in the trench coat.
He's wearing a trench coat, no pants. You see his socks and shoes.
You're like, oh, you. Okay, I'm so sorry. Okay,
I'm my own
irrational fear. Okay, I got one. I'm just gonna say a simple one. Go for it. Spiders really scare me. I don't know why. I'm really scared of spiders. Like like that they're gonna crawl in my mouth when I sleep.
All right, yeah, sure. A little rational.
Right.
Could happen.
Boo.
Here's my shut up. We're doing crowd work. People are just amazed that I'm saying anything at all on the spot.
That's true.
Okay. So,
That's
okay.
valid.
My irrational fear is that one day I'll see a shiny car drive up into my driveway, and the door will open, and out will walk Jake Gyllenhaal. And he'll knock on our door, and he'll be like, Gabby, I heard that I was your first choice. And she'll be like, yeah, and you still are, Jake. And then he'll carry her off my porch, and no one will feel sorry for me.
No.
I'm like, when I tell them my wife left me for Jake Gyllenhaal, they'll be like, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, even at church, like, people are going to take his side.
Yeah, I mean, he is Jake Gyllenhaal.
And then when I raise my kids, I'm like, yeah, well, your mother would love to be here for your birthday, but she is living the high life in Hollywood with Jake Gyllenhaal. And my daughter would be like, I get it.
Yeah. Well, I'm surprised you still have your kids, to be honest.
You think that
I think they'd be with Jake Gyllenhaal.
I
You think he'd
definitely
take everything?
pictured her leaving with 2 babies.
You guys are making this way sadder.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's irrational.
She would take
We might as
the
well go all the
dogs.
way.
Uh-huh.
She would take the truck.
Yeah, it'd be a country song called Jake Gyllenhaal My Wife Away. That would be the...
Oh,
There it is. There, yep. Mm-hmm.
Jake Gyllenhaal my wife away as I Jake Gyllen stalled at the door.
Jake Gyllenhaal bald. There you go.
Very...
That's a Jada Smith joke at the same time as well. All right, go and continue.
It would be hard. Not impossible
Yeah.
to ever watch Strangers again. Is that what it's called? The Strangers? Strangers? The Jake Gyllenhaal movie where he is the kidnapper?
There's gotta be a more recent Jake Gyllenhaal movie.
Ambulance.
Strangers.
Ambulance with Michael Barr.
Oh yeah.
Phil, you love this movie.
Freaking
What was Prisoners. Oh, that's
Guys,
a
can
good,
we
yeah.
redo that?
Oh no, that's the workshop. I love it. That's fun.
Whoa. Phil, cut that out.
That's staying.
And then I would say something like, it would be very hard. Not impossible, and then I'd pull out his best movie, whatever it is. What's his most well-known movie?
I think Prisoners is a good one. Or
I mean,
God damn it.
I don't know. Maybe Brokeback?
Mysterio?
in the Spider-Man.
Yeah, I mean he was in Spider-Man. He was
But
good
that's
in
not like
Spider-Man.
his movie though. I
Yeah.
would say
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you said Brokeback Mountain, is that too weird?
It feels like it's a joke on top of a joke, and
Yeah,
then people are looking
it's
for
too
the
much.
gay joke, and there's no gay joke. It's
Yeah.
the thing of like,
Why
it's
is
a
it the
movie
only
that's so
movie that I
good
know that he's in?
I will watch it even though this guy stole my family.
Yeah.
How about Day After Tomorrow, huh?
Oh, that's the one.
that's perfect.
That movie, that's my nightmare.
That's- I feel like that's even
gave me
older,
more
though.
nightmares than I think I told you guys this before. That movie gave me more nightmares than any scary movie ever. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, 'cause it's
I
real
never
as
want to
hell.
watch that movie. I never want to watch
The
that movie.
weather?
Yeah, when it chases him down.
Can't
the
control
halls.
that.
I like
The
that
weather is
idea.
very real.
The idea of like loving someone so much, like it's like, or because it's like, is there like a music artist that would be the same thing? Like, but it's like so. The idea I'm thinking is he takes your wife away, but his music's so good that you listen to it to get over your wife.
Okay, so you're saying that I should lie.
Yeah,
You should
on
fake
stage.
it.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding. No,
No,
actually,
no, I
I do
like
like
Jake-
the idea of
I like
it
Jake
doesn't
Gyllenhaal.
have to be Jake Gyllenhaal. The reason that Jake Gyllenhaal's funny to me is because it's
true.
true.
Yeah.
It's Jake Gyllenhaal.
She has
Yeah,
told
yeah.
me
Yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal
There's weight to that.
or you maybe if that doesn't work out.
Yeah, I think an artist would definitely work. CeeLo Green.
Dude, have you? I think the question I have, like, if you were gonna expand on it, is, have you talked to your wife? Like, do you ever bring it up?
Yeah, no, I've
Like,
told her this
so,
joke.
But I mean, like, even like Like when you watch Jake Gyllenhaal movies with her, is it awkward?
I don't. No. Okay, you guys are gonna
that's my
think that I'm
question.
being funny. I'm not.
Yeah, go there.
I actually scroll past Jake Gyllenhaal thumbnails on Netflix.
You see it in advance. Okay. All right, get past
It's
it.
a real insecurity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like we've been married for almost 5 years now, and it's like I don't want her. You know what I mean? Like I get it that obviously there are guys out there who are the Jake Gyllenhaals, the Justin Biebers, the Captain Americas of the
The
world.
CeeLo Greens.
I would say Chris Evans is.
Chris Evans.
Yeah, is a
Like I understand fully
Sorry, Mitch.
that biologically and on every level, he is a better. He is a better specimen of a man than I am. I just don't want to hear my wife acknowledge that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't want to see her acknowledge it. I just want to live in my own world where that maybe isn't true. Where, you know. So, but I do think it'd be funny. Also, when she was 15, 14, R. Kelly asked for her number.
What?
Yep.
That sounds about right. That's the right age.
That's
I remember that story. I remember that story because she was kind of taken aback. I remember, and like she was with a group of like older people, or there was an adult there to be like, no.
I think it was
And my
Marshall.
older brother Marshall was like, Gabby, what the hell? Like, have you not heard anything about that? No, absolutely not.
Had
She's like,
stuff
yeah,
about
he asked me to sing.
Has stuff about him already come out at that point?
I mean, well, I think it's one of those things where it had always been out about him.
Oh.
But like not legally, not like, in court.
Right.
But it was like known that he liked to have sex with kids.
Wow.
Well, because there was like a mad there was
I
a mad
laughed at the wrong
TV
time. It was the delivery. It was just
It
so.
was good delivery.
Oh, good God!
You can make anything funny if you say it the right
I don't
way.
like it.
He asked her, like, oh yeah, he's like, so you sing? And this is in the parking lot of McDonald's.
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, I sing. He's like, oh, sing something. And so she sang, and then he was like, that's impressive. Actually, like, give me your number, and maybe we can do something together sometime.
And that's how that's terrifying.
No,
I mean,
he gave her his number, and Marshall, her oldest brother, ripped it up.
Go Marshall.
He was jealous.
Go Marsh.
He
Well,
was
it's
He also
jealous.
sings.
It's like it's super funny to talk about.
He called the number. Hey,
Hey, R. Kelly.
Raymond,
It's
I'm going
me.
to guess that's what your first name is. Can I call you that, Raymond? You met a girl in a parking lot at McDonald's earlier?
he gets his voice a little higher. Hey,
You met a girl. I heard you met a girl.
Do you remember me?
you sound different.
Yeah, if our Marshall would have called him, I'd be like, "Listen up, R. Kelly. I've had sex with Jada Pinkett Smith. I know what I'm doing, man. You mess with my sister, and I'll have sex with Jada again."
Oh my gosh.
I can't get over that. I can't get over that joke right now. That's gonna be all I talk about this whole podcast.
There's a lot there.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much there.
I can't quit it. I can't quit the topic.
Yeah.
All right, what other jokes do you guys have?
Oh, there was one act out I wanted to add to your thing potentially of like
please.
you making dinner and you made dinner and you're like, how is it? And she was like, it's okay. I'm sure Jake would have made it better. I'm sure Gyllenhaal would have cooked this lasagna perfectly. Like there might be something there, but that seems like a me way to approach the joke.
Now that is
As
funny
opposed-
though.
What is-
I
yeah.
mean, maybe becoming obsessed with his shortcomings.
Yes, exactly. Yep. Yes.
Like I Google like what's he worst at?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that could be funny. And then you do the things that he's really good at.
Yeah, and then I do- and then
the
I
things
do
that he's
cook-
bad at, you do well.
I do cook like chicken. And I'm like, how do you like the chicken? She's like, it's delicious. I'm like, you know who's vegan? You know who would never make you chicken? Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh no! You know what could be funny is if your delivery was like a way that it like came off the top of your head. You like the chicken? It's crazy. Oh, you know what's weird? Yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal's a vegan.
You know
I didn't even think of that. I mean, I didn't put those two together, but
It's funny. I just realized this. Jake Gyllenhaal's a vegan. Weird.
Anyway,
It's probably he would just never make you chicken.
just like just dropping subliminal messages throughout the day about
Yes.
the shortcomings of Jake Gyllenhaal. Yeah, it's not like you have chicken like in front of you. It could be like, Jake Gyllenhaal's a vegan. That's wild. Like just scrolling through Netflix. Like, oh,
Jake Gyllenhaal micro penis. Huh? That's
I guess he has to stand on a lot
That's
of
crazy.
boxes. I guess if he has to stand on a lot of boxes when they film his movies because he's so short. Have you watched
Jake
Encanto
Gyllenhaal,
yet?
5'6", interesting. Like things that aren't even true. I'm just like,
Jake Gyllenhaal has 3 testicles? Huh? Weird.
it doesn't matter. He's not in our life, so why would it matter?
It's not like he's gonna drive up to our door and sweep you off your feet with our babies in my truck and
In my truck.
yeah, that's what I like about him. He takes your truck.
And he just says,
He loads up Damien in Berkeley. He whistles and they just jump into the back of the truck.
full speed.
as with the best behaved they've ever been.
They're wearing like handkerchiefs all of a sudden. They've never worn those. They're just everyone's better looking when they're with Jake. I like stay on the porch and just wave them off. Stare up into the sunset. I'm like, all right, well,
There goes Jake with my wife.
We had a good run.
Live your dreams, babe. Live your dreams.
that's good. Oh, there's a lot.
I'm
there.
glad you wrote that in your journal. That's why I came to be.
The power of declaration, baby. Woo!
I'm like, wait, you
Yeah,
forgot
that's exactly
your
what I was thinking.
journal.
She's like, you can keep it. I don't need it anymore, Trey. I don't need it anymore.
I don't need to read about my dreams. I'm living them.
Freeze frame, end of movie.
I got Jake Gyllenhaal and I got your truck. Life is good.
Oh man.
I like that bit. I don't need to live. I don't need my. If you bring him the journal, I'm like, the line. I don't need my journal. I don't need my dreams anymore. I'm living them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great line. Just like that's how the movie
hilarious.
goes in your head. If you could like maybe like, how do Jake Gyllenhaal movie plots go? It's like if you write it like a Jake Gyllenhaal movie, but the plot is him stealing your wife.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a fun take on that. Like your fantasy is a Jake Gyllenhaal movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know. That could be kind of a good play.
That's good.
That's
I love
good.
that. I do one thing I'll add because I actually do. You talked about Day After Tomorrow. I do have a natural disaster joke, but it's just a premise, and I mean that.
I love natural disaster jokes.
It's that a natural disaster is my worst fear because then you have to make all new friends. You know what I mean? Like the beginning, it's like, so every natural disaster movie is like this crazy thing happens. It could be a zombie apocalypse. It could be a tornado. It could be
Very
whatever.
natural.
You're all of a sudden stuck with the people you're with who are random strangers it's an unlikely group.
Right.
An unlikely group of strangers is trapped in an elevator. And then you have to like get their backstory.
Yeah.
You have to listen to them talk about their whole life. And to me, that would be the worst part of a natural disaster is being trapped indoors with people who you have to make it work with.
Like you actually choose death. You're like, okay. You see one guy, he starts talking. Listen, I'm gonna kill myself. I don't care that you're an accountant. That's great for you. I'd rather die.
This is like the worst part of every first date I've ever been on, but 0 chance of banging you. So
Right, it's not even for
I'm
sex. It's just for survival.
Yeah.
That's not fun.
Yeah.
that
I think
sounds
that'd be
awful.
the worst part.
I do like that idea.
That's the
Or
whole
just
joke.
like inevitably, no matter what disaster, like, there's gonna be a point where we have to sit down and have to talk. You're gonna stare off into the sunset and start crying, and I can't handle that right now. It's like I don't care about your dead dog or your kid. I don't know what it was, but I don't want to hear it.
And it's gonna be the person who you hate the most at first.
Always.
Right? Because then you have to have the conversation where I finally see their humanity.
Yeah.
And
You
I'm
just
like,
shoot them.
and
You just
it's
shoot
gonna
them
be-
before they start.
Because it's me in this movie, it's going to be a racist person.
Oh, I was
gonna be a
definitely
Klan
thinking that should
member.
be thrown in there.
Yeah, it's gonna be a Klan member who's like, he's like, yeah, well, it's just like I got beat up by 9 black guys, and they're the only black guys I knew, and then I thought, well, I just hate all black guys now, and then, and I'm gonna be like, I see where you're coming from, Steve, and he's like, but then I met you, and I don't know, you changed things for me.
You're different, man.
You're different.
So I'd like you to have it. He just hands you his Klan outfit.
It's his hood.
Yeah, no, but it actually comes in very vital for some part. For some part, you have to hide from the monsters that are weirdly white and have pointy heads, and it actually saves you. The Klan hat saves you.
I blend in with the cone-headed monsters.
It saves your life, dude. He sacrifices himself. He's like, take it, and he gets eaten. He gets eaten by the monsters, dude, and he saves in your. And you blend in with the
This is like my brown eyes through this.
You're just watching it get torn apart by these white-headed monsters. Yeah. He's like, you changed me, Trey.
I wore that costume so you would die. Now it's time for you to wear it so you can live.
That's so funny. The only thing I pictured there is like if they're like aliens or monsters, they're all like, we're doing this, and you're like, yeah, all right, yeah.
It's actually not a good disguise at all. It's just me with the freaking.
I just like there's a tear through the mask, just like the single tear. Even though you're a clan member, we still connected in the end. Oh my gosh.
I'm just glad that I became part of your Ku Klux Klan. In here.
Yeah, after the monsters have gone away, you're like holding him. He's like barely hanging on.
He's like, I guess you could say in the end, we're all part of the clan.
Hey, yeah, that's actually he never leaves it. He just invites you into it. He's like, do you want to be a part of it?
He's not like renouncing racism. He's just inviting me into his racist group.
You're half white.
Like, oh, so you didn't learn anything from this?
Yeah, he says at the very end, he's like, I see your white side now, and then he fades away.
Just do the handshake. I'm like, I don't know the handshake. I won't do the handshake.
Trey, come closer. Come closer. Can I say the N-word one last time? No, man. No, you can't. Absolutely not.
For old time's sake.
Come on.
Just
I won't use the hard ER.
Like in a friendly way. Like, you were my... Nope. Just still don't want you to say it.
just like...
You gotta let this one
Come
go.
on, man. It's in all the rap songs you like. You don't know that about me. You don't know I like rap music. That's not a fact.
But do you? I mean, yeah, but...
On his deathbed, we get an argument, and it just further entrenches him in racism. It's like, you guys are all the same.
You're all the same.
I was right in the first place.
Beep. He just dies.
Oh,
Big
roll credits.
doubling down on racism.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
All right.
A Spike Lee joint.
All right, Mitch, let's hear that bit, dude. Go for it.
Show
It
us your
is.
bits.
It's a roughie. It's a roughie McHillary
Hey,
Duffy.
that's why
But this
we're-
is what this
that's why we're
podcast
here.
is for.
Yeah.
So the whole premise is I'm talking about how Animal Crossing is the worst video game to ever be made in the history of the world.
Go there.
Because video games, and I want to talk about this. I want to preface it with this: Animal Crossing came out right when the pandemic hit. Because like everyone loves Animal Crossing, and it's like I feel like that's why. And it's the same thing with Tiger King. Tiger King came out right when the pandemic hit, and so we were all inside, couldn't do anything, and that's why everyone loves it. But like when I play video games, I play video games to do things that I couldn't do in real life. Like I want to be like a space astronaut saving the universe, or I want to be like an assassin, or I want to eat food that is so good that I become a crackhead that can devour ghosts.
Yeah.
Pac-Man.
Yeah.
And
That's perfect.
but
That's great.
yeah, I think that bit's pretty good.
That's
I think that bit's all right. But so the whole thing with Animal Crossing is like you get on this island and they're like, hey, welcome to this island. You want a house? Okay, now you owe me money. You work for me. And that's the whole thing. The whole thing is you just get into debt.
Yep.
And you pay off your debt.
Yep.
And you get more debt. And that's it. And it's like, I can do that in real life. You know what else you do in Animal Crossing? You pick up some vegetables and you move around your living room furniture. Like, good God. These are all things I can do. In NBA 2K, in my rookie season, I won Finals MVP over the Portland Trailblazers as I hit 2 clutch free throws in Game 7. And in Animal Crossing, I'm giving some dude some bones I dug up. And he's like, oh, you already gave me these bones. Sorry, they're fucking useless. And so it's just like it's just that idea. And like I think it should be about that long. I don't think it deserves more than
No, but I know what it is.
to be a minute.
A quick little bit. The thing is, like, that's and it is kind of funny because have you played it? Like you?
Oh, yeah.
on the
Oh,
real
dude,
side, do you actually enjoy it?
I hated it.
Oh, you
I
didn't?
hated
like
it so much.
Oh, I loved it, which was so funny because I found myself like, what am I doing? I could be investing in my life because you're actually start looking at the stock market, which they call it the stock market because of the turnip.
Yes,
and you
the
get
turnip
and then
stock
you're
market.
And you're like looking at I'm like, why am I not looking at real stocks?
Dude, yeah. My roommate Sam, like my old best friend Sam, he was obsessed.
Yeah.
He was like, oh yeah, good turnout today or whatever. And I'm like, dude.
No, that's real. I think this is completely not adding to the joke bit is like great. Like I think I love the Pac-Man. I even like the pause Pac-Man. And it's because it's very relatable because there's a lot of people. That game is really popular amongst like all ages. And it was even popular back in the DS era. So it was an older version. Mm-hmm. But I was gonna just talk about I have this vicarious dream to be like a farmer or a rancher, but I have no skills. So, I mean, it is weird, like, because there's other games like that called, like, Farming Simulator, where you drive a tractor back and forth on a line. So it's like mowing your lawn, but not real. But the idea,
you know what's funny?
I've almost bought that game 5 times, and I've stopped myself every single time, but there's been so many times where I'm like, well, you know, the idea of, like, earning money, investing, and getting a better John Deere tractor, and like, okay, well, once I use this John Deere tractor till it's full, so I can get my harvester, and then it's like, I'm like, what am I doing? And then you can look up and you're in your parents' house, and you're like, oh,
Their grass is so
you
tall.
close your laptop.
like, your house is just unkempt. And your Animal Crossing is dialed, but your house is just a shit show.
Yeah, you close your laptop as you look at your room from your top bunk, being like, things don't look so good up here, do they?
Mom, did you buy groceries yet?
You know what's so funny? I thought about buying Farm Simulator because I realized that I also have a dream of becoming a farmer and having like not a huge farm, but having, I don't know, like a few acres and growing some nice cute little plants. Yeah. Having a couple of cows, some chickens, maybe a pig.
You're speaking my language.
I have that dream too.
Speaking my language. That's my dream. I have a dream. Oh, this is actually a bit that I could actually build on. Mitch, I don't want to. We can wait. We can wait until. We're done.
Unless there's anything you want to add to that bit, like that's pretty much it. I would need to write it out more. But like, was the 2K?
Yeah,
that's
great.
So was that relatable?
Bringing in a thing that you can actually crush. Maybe one more, just for the sake of it. Just write out. Like I think it's always fun to write from surplus. Write 2K, then go to Call of Duty, then write a couple different video games. Yeah, and then just choose your favorite one. Like you might come up with something that you even like more. But the idea of being like, I took my rookie season to the championship. That's
I think
that's great.
Like, have you seen me in Tony Hawk?
Yeah,
I can grind for 3 minutes,
which is about as much as I can do in bed.
Yeah, I can grind longer than I can have sex.
There it is, dude. That's it.
And everyone played Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
At least once.
Oh yeah.
And knows that like even people who don't give a shit about skateboarding, like me, loved playing Tony Hawk. And
I played
doing
Tony Hawk.
The half pipes and everything. Yeah. So I think bringing in Pac-Man's amazing, 2K. Amazing.
Yeah.
Tony Hawk,
it's a great
to me
addition.
Is up there as well, and like it's just relatable because Animal Crossing I think will be pretty relatable, but a little more niche than these like iconic games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
and that's what I'm afraid of
like,
with Animal
Crossing. Animal Crossing is a game. For those who haven't played it, it is a game where you land on a mysterious island, and then you're surrounded in debt already.
Like, So if I give an explanation of it,
and then because the people who do get it, if you can like invite them into it and how stupid of a game it is, and then maybe I don't know, this is an idea just to bring the point home about how many copies they sold, and so like how much money the makers have made, or like bringing in like a like an outside worldview. It's like that means those guys have got you working on their game. Explaining what the game is could be cool. I don't know. Maybe don't go down that. Maybe we're going down the rabbit hole too much. Maybe it just needs to be as simple, like you're talking.
Because that's kind of what I was afraid of. Trey, what were you going to say?
Yeah,
I was going to say you could be like, this might be a shorter version, and it might kind of null out some other ideas. So maybe don't do this. But it could be like, in 2K, I have an illustrious NBA career. And Medal of Honor, I have a war hero experience. Yeah. In Animal Crossing, I have a mortgage.
Yeah.
I have crippling debt.
I stay up at night and I
stress about finance. Here's the thing. I do that in regular life.
My character's losing his hair. I didn't even know that was possible.
That would be funny.
That's
then
great.
You say and then you say other things in Animal Crossing your character's doing that are like very specific fears or stressors in your own actual life. And in Animal Crossing, my character's wife told him if he keeps farting so much, she's gonna leave him, and she means it.
Yeah,
she just start talking because he farts so goddamn much.
Transition into real life in an Animal Crossing. Yeah, but my character has this crippling fear that he's not good enough
in Animal Crossing.
Just like bringing like
Animal Crossing. My guy took some hair pills to get his hair back, and guess what? Couldn't get a boner for a week.
Yeah, it's like in Animal Crossing.
Oh,
That's a fun
okay.
bit.
See,
In Animal Crossing, like building them
that-
and then going into reality.
yeah,
That's
that could
fun.
be a great way to bring it in. Make
That's
my
great.
real life the Animal Crossing. Oh my goodness.
In Animal Crossing. And then if you can like deliver it with a pause, it's like you just start to get really sad. Like, yeah, in Animal Crossing, and doing this, and 2K can do this, and in Animal Crossing, my parents didn't get him a gift when he was 5. And in
Animal Crossing, my parents divorced when I was 16.
in Animal Crossing,
I watched my dad leave.
And they spend every Wednesday night doing this goddamn open mic. Thank
but
you
in
guys so much.
2K, and then you have to maybe bounce back to a positive note on something.
It's okay. I have a secret handshake with Steph Curry.
Anyway,
Oh, that's funny.
that's a fun bit. That's great.
I'm so excited
I-
for next Wednesday. We're all going to do the open mic together.
Yeah, dude.
That's going to be.
I'm so, I think I'm going to try and do some different material I'm not going to do for the show. And then at the end of my set, I'll be like, if you like this, come to our show on Friday or Saturday.
Yeah.
Because I got a lot more material like it, but not these just blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, I've been thinking about that because I'm like, I want them to want to come to the show.
Should we mention the show at the open mic with Steve?
Well, I have
is it
the-
Steve?
No, it's Scott.
I always call him Steve. Like right to his face. Right to his face, dude.
You said it on stage last
Yeah, I was
time.
like,
You're
Scott,
like,
I keep calling you Steve. I don't know why. Yeah. I was like, I'm sorry about that. But you didn't know my name, so that's fair. He's like, and up next we got what's your name? Evan.
yeah.
What's your name?
He does,
Erwin.
My favorite thing about him is he comes in full hot like he knows our full name, but then immediately only knows our first name and so clearly doesn't know our last name.
I get that anxiety too, though. Even if I know someone's last name, I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to say
But he
it.
doubles down every single time. He's like, give it up for Evan!
Yeah. Give it up for Evan.
For a very funny comic, Trey! Give it up!
Trey, come on stage now. Come on, get up here, everybody.
We're the first name
That's
basis.
something
That's
I would
great.
do
We're best friends.
entirely. Shia, come on.
I have the opposite approach to Mitch's, where I'm gonna try to do most of the stuff that I'm gonna try to do on Friday, and hope that no one from that show comes to our.
Yeah, just work it out.
Well, and
Really?
well, not the whole thing. I know I said last week I'm gonna do the whole 20 minutes. I'm not gonna
But
do
like
that.
stuff that you feel like needs
But
the
I really
most.
do.
Or
I still have stuff that I really do need to work out. Stuff that I'm like, I might do this in front of 200 people over the next 2 days, or I might bury it and never do it one time. You know. So for me, it just feels like the stakes are a little higher. It's dumb. I mean, we're gonna have fun.
Yeah.
I don't want to make it something that it's not, but I really do want to put on a good show. you know?
Totally.
And,
Oh, yeah.
And I really do want to bring my best 20 minutes. So it's like, if there's this new joke that I'm excited about, but it's not going to do as well as something that I'm less excited about, but I know is going to crush, then I should do that thing. Unless this new thing I'm excited about crushes Wednesday night, then I'll bring it in.
It's tough to know though, because that crowd can be. I'm not blaming the crowd, but sometimes it's like I think the energy.
Maybe not
of
the best indicators.
Yeah, it's maybe not the best indicators, because sometimes like I have a joke that like hits a couple times. It just I don't know. It's tough to say.
Yeah.
So yeah, you'll bring the good stuff, man. I'm not worried. Trey, you've been killing it. It's been super fun. So
We'll see. And hopefully, for some of them, I hope that the crowd was a good indicator for for what we're gonna do. Because I don't think I told you, Mitch. I did the smoke weed in heaven thing for the last 2 open mics. The first time it went like just okay, and then I tweaked some stuff and did it again, and it went really well.
Yeah.
And so now I'm like really excited to do
No,
it
that's a good
because
joke.
people reacted to how I hoped people would react. So like,
Yeah.
it was funny to them, seemingly the same way that it was funny to me, and that's like awesome and feels really fun. So I really hope to have that experience in front of, I would guess, a mostly Christian audience. Not guessing.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's-
One, just one really pissed off atheist.
yeah.
One
and
of
they
them.
can both laugh together.
And he's just
I think
like,
that's beautiful.
It's funny, I guess.
Yeah, it's whatever. There is no God.
Oh,
I
you
get
know,
done on stage. I knew it. I was right. Oh, anyway.
Either way, we'll have fun.
but one thing talking about like atheists, I want to talk about. I feel like there's a joke here maybe somewhere, but like I remember in high school, there was this girl, her name was Molly, and I was always trying to convert her to be a Christian because she was an atheist.
And did you want to
And,
did you want to date Molly? I shouldn't interrupt you, but that was the first question. I'm gonna shut up.
You
No,
know,
go back
like
to your story. Go back to your story.
I definitely did for a little bit, but then after a while, I was like, no, we're friends.
It's
and
for Jesus.
I want her to find Christ.
Flirt to convert,
know?
bro.
Exactly. But I was like, I want to convert her. And she was always super into the environment. And she was telling me about like recycling and composting and stuff. And I currently have a compost bin, and she is still an atheist. And so like I feel like I don't know how to build that up, but I feel like there's something there with the idea of like, my thing didn't work.
That's
That's
really
great.
funny.
Yeah, it's perfect.
As is. I mean, I think that it'd be
There
one of
we
those
go.
things, once you told it on stage, you would get other ideas for it.
Yeah.
But I mean, even as just like an in-between joke, as like a transition, I think it works.
Like, she doesn't love the Lord, but I recycle now, so that's
And
She doesn't love the Lord, and
still-
I own 500 red wiggler worms.
so. It's weird how God works, you know. God works in mysterious ways. If He's there, drop like a little subtle hint that you might be atheist. Like she's got you doubting. I went on a very strict mission to convert her.
That devil won.
And
Hey, you brought your notebook.
it's got. I'm looking through it.
Brought the
I'm
notebook.
I'm literally looking through it to see if there's jokes in here.
He forgot to bring it last time. For the listener at home, as Mitch
Yeah,
would say.
but it had more of the. No, that's not a very good joke.
That was my favorite part of it.
I listened back to that to when I was higher. On a different planet. And I get for the viewer at home, for the listener at home.
Like, it was like 3,000
50,000
in one
times.
story. It's so great.
So good.
Do you have any other ones?
Okay, the idea I'm going to build off of is kind of going back to the this isn't in my journal, but what I want to do is I'm 25 right now, so that's 5 years till 30, and I have this vicarious dream to have a ranch by 30 years old, which is impossible. That's a real goal. No way it could happen, but it's gonna. But I have because I have a Peloton, and right in front of my Peloton, I set up a cork board, and I am literally pinning dreams in front of me. And as I
bro.
blare EDM, I am biking and I'm pedaling towards
Bro,
those dreams.
Inject that into my veins.
That is,
dude.
and I'm just like,
I want to do that.
oh man, it's actually been super fun. But the story of this week that it's kind of gnarly. But I bought these soccer cleats this year. Like I'm playing soccer.
I saw that.
I got off the waiting list.
Yeah, congratulations.
It was
You're a cowboy.
almost, yeah, I'm a cowboy, dude. I was pretty embarrassing to not make it onto like a rec league. Yeah, well, you're on the waiting list. But I got on. I had a great first game. My first time ever playing soccer. Really enjoyed it. I bought these new fancy cleats, and I actually invested a little bit more money than I thought.
For sure.
But
Damn.
they were a size too small. They were one size too small, and I was like, but I was wearing them, and I was like, they feel fine.
Yeah.
Like actually, they're gonna form to my feet, and it's gonna be great. And I could feel, I'm like, doing some agility tests in Dick's Sporting Goods, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be great. Go out there, play the first half, feeling great. Second half, I'm like, oh man, my right big toe is starting to hurt a little bit. By the end of that game, my toe was hurting so bad. And so, when I was buying the cleats, I was like, she's like, yeah, you find everything you want? I was like, yeah. Like, there wasn't a lot of options back there, but I think these are great. And I was like, I hope they fit. And she's like, what do you mean they hope they fit? And I was like, well, they're a size small. She's like, for your cleats? And I was like, yeah. She's like, I don't know if you should do that. And I was like, no, they're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. And so I'm like delusional. I'm just lying to myself because I like how they look. And they were the coolest ones in that size for that price. And I was like, no, they're fine. They're great.
They're too small, but they're red.
They're really cool. They're cool. They're great. No, here's the deal. The options were pink cleats, which were really cool, but it's my first soccer game ever. I can't show up and be that guy. Other cleats were $80. I figured that's kind of like a video game unlockable. You have to earn it. Like, I am not there yet. And then there's these cleats, size too small, in my price range, and they've got ankle support. That's win. I got loose ankles. And
Your ankles are
I got
loose,
loose ankles.
man.
I got loose
Your ankles
ankles.
are like
Loose ankles.
Jada Pinkett Smith.
Yeah, dude.
Those ankles are loose.
Just shaking my head at my husband, just like, go slap that bitch. Anyway, so she's like, that's it. She's like, okay, yeah, cool. And so I'm playing the game. My toe starts hurting so bad. I take my cleats off. I get home, and I'm like, kind of nervous to see it. I take my sock off, and my toe is kind of, well, it's not good. It's the big nail is not looking good, and I'm like, oh, and it's because it's not looking good because it's bleeding everywhere. There's blood coming out of both sides, and I'm like, well, maybe I should just trim it and see what happens. And I start trimming it, and I'm like, I can just kind of keep going. And I get down to where I'm like, there is no more toenail. except for the bed of it. And the only way I got through, because it hurt like hell. But I've been watching a lot of war movies lately. And I had rubber gloves on my hand, tweezers, and it's my sister's getting back from a mission trip at 2:30 in the morning. She walks into the house expecting everybody to be asleep. I'm in the bathroom, sweating, hunched over my big toe. I don't know if you've been hunched over for long enough where a certain spinal column starts to hurt really bad. I was at that point where my spinal column, when I stood up, I was actually more in pain in my back than I was my toe. But she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "There's one section left of my toe that's stuck down in it was like but there is something in my brain that I'm like, don't be a little bitch. I'm like, you got it. I picture, when they pull bullets out of in movies, or it's always going to a bathroom and they get salt and throw it on the wound. So in my mind, this nail's not coming out, and this is gnarly and it's graphic. Maybe I won't tell it, but it's slipping and I can't get a grasp of it, and I finally do. And then I got to the point where I get to pull, and I'm like, and it hurts so bad, and I'm like, let's fucking go. and I pull it out, and I finally get it, and I get this little piece of of nail that's been stuck in my toe, and I'm like, Lauren, I got it. and it felt so much better. And then I looked down at my toe, and I was like, that is the nastiest. It might be infected. But that was my story this week.
So what I got from that was gangrene.
I have to lose my foot next week.
So my foot's and that'll really be like a war movie. You'll like it, Evan.
I'm gonna feel great.
You'll really enjoy watching them saw your ankle.
Get your Purple Heart.
No, I mean that's really gnarly. But that was my man. It was. I did feel like I went to bed proud of myself. My toe was throbbing. Because can I be honest? I went to bed leaving part of the nail in because I couldn't get it. I was too far in, and I couldn't get it in. And I was going to bed, and I was like, you're going to hate yourself if you leave that in there because it's going to hurt really bad tomorrow.
Yeah. It's going to be like a glass shard.
And then I was like, and I got back out of bed, and I went back to it.
You went back for more.
So, because I had to get it out. And I probably fought this thing for a half hour. And when I got it out, the relief, it's gnarly, guys. It's gnarly. But if anybody because you suffered from
ingrown toenails,
but there's that satisfaction, and it's so painful. But it's kind of like a tattoo. I don't know that sounds weird, but it's like relatable. That sucked. Yeah, related. It's whatever.
Yeah,
I got tats.
Yeah,
me too.
I get it. Anyway, it's pretty gnarly. It's kind of got that gross factor. Clearly this happened 2 days ago, so it's not formed into a joke. Real quick, the last bit I have, that's just a story.
Well, hold on. Before we move on.
Yeah, go for it.
I think you should write that all down because I think you'll...
And then find the little analogies in there. Yeah.
Because I think you'll have a similar experience to what happened with the street signs thing.
Yeah.
Where you started with street signs work on me.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then you started just free-flowing, and then you got that whole great bit about speed enforced by aircraft, and then the Lieutenant Dan guy, and
Totally.
I think that you would get moments like that because there's so much there, the fact that you felt like you needed to do that, and you pulling in all those war movie as a kid.
Oh yeah,
the first time your dad let you watch Band of Brothers or something, and
that's
so
where I'm going in my mind.
Yeah.
And I'm telling myself I'm not actually. I said don't be a little bitch, but I actually my this is even funnier. My self-talk is so good during that moment. I'm like, you got this. Hey, let's pull it out. Pull it out. You got it. And then it would slip, and I wouldn't get it. It's like it's okay. Get back in there. Get this thing. Get this thing out of your foot. And it was just because I couldn't get it. And then when I finally got it, I was like, yes. But anyway, yeah.
It would be funny if there's some, I can't think of one on the top of my head, but if there's a line from a war movie. It's
I was thinking that exactly too.
If they're, I don't know what they say in Glory before they run up the hill and they know they're all going to die. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I haven't seen that movie. I love war movies, and I haven't seen the most famous ones. I'm like, I haven't seen the Patriot.
Yeah, it's Denzel Washington and others.
A good war movie quote is Gladiator, what we do in life echoes in eternity.
Dude.
What we do in life echoes in eternity.
And then they talk about that, and then you're doing it, and then at the end you say that.
And then I hold up my nail.
Yeah. And then you hold up a Ziploc baggie.
I'm like,
that'd be awesome.
Oh, it's gross.
Wait, so was it your entire nail?
Yeah, I ripped the
or
whole
was it
I ripped the whole because it was
the
dead.
whole
It was
thing?
dead already. It was dead already. And I kept going on, and I was like, and it got to the last little part where it's in your toe, like beyond the.
Jeez.
And I was like, let's get this thing. It's pretty. But the thing is, while I'm doing that stuff, I'm kind of I feel like a doctor where you're like, that's kind of crazy how that's made. I'm like, that's how that works. And my toe is just like gushing. I'm like, huh. I had guys. I had
blood is just squirting in your face.
I had gauze, sterile gloves, sterile tools, and I was like really like just like, huh. And my mom's like, maybe you should go to the doctor next time. I was like, and have them charge me $400 for what I can do. No.
For a fraction of the price?
She's like, yeah, but you might have to get on some.
I just earned my
antibiotics
PhD.
All it costs is a bottle of Jack Daniels
and maybe a bottle of antibiotics later, but I'm fine.
and my foot
And
later.
my foot rolls away. Oh my gosh.
Dude, I have a lot of experience. Like just, I think 2 or so weeks ago, I started cutting my nail and I was like, I can cut this even further. And I just kept cutting it.
Now you know.
And eventually it
falls off.
Yeah. I have like half a nail. My toes are disgusting. My feet are disgusting.
It ends. If you keep going, it ends. That's what I discovered. And it's true because I was doing the same thing. I was like, oh my gosh. And then I was like, that's beyond what I've ever done. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm not gonna leave it half done.
you were like Samwise Gamgee in Fellowship of the Ring, like, Mr. Frodo, this is the furthest I've ever been from the Shire.
He's like, and then that's like the ring getting thrown into the fires when I finally rip it out. It's like, and then I start like frolicking and like Sam. Actually, bringing up I mean, I don't know. That could be a good bit too, but
Gandalf. Gimli. I always, someone pointed out in some YouTube video or maybe it was stand up how like he says everyone's name and then Legolas comes in and he doesn't say a damn thing because like he met Legolas
Racist
maybe for like
towards
half a second and just split.
He's racist towards elves. Maybe he's got something against blonde people.
Ooh, that's an interesting little backstory.
Frodo, fun facts. Fun 5 crazy facts you didn't know about Lord of the Rings.
So you guys know about Jada and Tupac. What you don't know,
Frodo
is Legolas and Frodo's ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, like Hollywood beef you need to know. Number 2, Frodo and Legolas.
It started with a fellowship, but quickly broke up.
This high elf took the low road.
Holy Shire. Okay. The other bits I'm working on, I was reflecting on Chicago, and just like the bus. There was one, there's something here in this story. I was at a bus stop, and it's Chicago cold, like winter. It's probably like 10 degrees with wind chill. And I'm standing at this bus station for like a long time, and it's free. And the other guy's standing with me, and we're just both freezing our ass off. And it's $2.50 a pop to ride the bus, which when you are balling, you're like, here we go. You got my bus. Okay, keeping transactions, and we get on the bus. We both pay our thing, and we've been standing outside for 20, 30 minutes for that bus to get there. We get there, we get on. I sit down. He goes 1 block to the next bus stop, and then gets up and gets off, and then goes to his place. He could walk. I was like, "What?" It was a really interesting to witness because I don't know why he did that because it was like that's it. It was a real event. The other time, like, there's 3 Chicago bus incidents. One time, this lady dropped a cup, and I bent over to pick it up, and she said, "No, you don't need to do that." And it was already too late. I was already halfway bent over, and so I picked up the cup, and then as I went to hand it up to her, she knocked it out of my hand. And then
It's like, no, you really shouldn't have done that.
She knocked it out of my hand and then picked it back up and then got off the bus. And I was like, okay. She's like, she dropped it. I was like, oh, I got it. And she's like, no, you don't. So you don't need to do that. I gave it to her. She knocked it out of my hand, picked it up, and then left the bus. I was like, okay. This is another time. And I don't know if this is like racially profiling. So I'm not going to try to go, but here we go. 2 guys, foreigners, I will not specify their ethnicity, have these full military backpacks. Like we're talking backpacks that are military. They have a place for a patch to go. There's no patch. And there's 2 large water bottles in each side. There's 2 large, not like small water bottles, 2 like 2-gallon, water bottles on the pack. They both have military boots. They're matching, and they're speaking in a foreign language. And they walk to the bus stop, and they say one last thing, and one walks away, and the other one gets on the bus with me.
Oh my God.
And I was like, I'm like, I got on the bus and I legitimately positioned myself to sit right here. He was sitting next to me, and he was out of the left side of my eye because I was like, I'm gonna keep my eye on him the entire. And his foot was tapping the entire time. And I was like, I got off the bus, the next bus stop, and I walked the rest of the way home. And I was just waiting for there to be like a Like, you're just like I was waiting to be like
Goodness.
to hear, because I mean it was just like the scary. I mean I don't. Like, that sounds like the most like
that
Montana
point,
thing. Like, big.
you're like-
And then there's 2 foreigners came, but it's like they came. They have a matching backpack, water bottles, combat boots, military backpack. Split up. One gets on my bus and the other goes the other way. And I was like, oh no. I was like, this is. But I was like, that'd be the worst terrorist attack. A bus at 2 a.m. in Chicago. 4 people killed.
Yeah, dude.
I was like, where's this bus going?
I'll be honest. I don't trust Irish people either. They just,
Yeah, go there.
you know, those foreigners, those darn Irish people.
with their backpacks full of liquids.
They're like,
that the TSA won't let us have.
saying weird things like, all right, they're after our
Oh,
Lucky
buddy,
Charms.
you've got more than 3
All right.
ounces. What's going on?
This cryptid code like, you've got the corned beef and cabbage? Yeah. Aye, they split up.
Potatoes.
Potatoes. And they river danced separate ways. And I said, I'm getting off this bus. But those were my 3 bus. I mean,
Wow.
there was a lot of Chicago bus stories, but
I get
Well-
that. That's kind of that's scary. I mean, and it's like, what do you do? Like, am I being weird? Am I stereotyping or profiling?
Yeah.
There was
or
a-
am I just being a smart dude?
because there was
who saw
I think
some
there was a joke.
suspicious
There was a
shit?
joke about someone made a really dark joke, but it was like, if I'm right about this, I like it's like the question of like, am I being racist?
right, or
Or
am
am
I
I-
being right?
Am I going to survive? Like it's like
Am I being
Sur-
racist or am I being right?
survival, a little bit of racism, survival.
Well, you're saying someone already made that joke?
Someone made that joke about, oh, it's really dark. We actually cut this out on the podcast because I think it is dark and it's not my joke. But someone said like someone who would racially profile like during 9/11. They said that they're like while the plane was going, they're like, I knew it. Like there was something about like they're like it was like I can't remember whose joke that was, but it was a real comedian's. I think it might have been Jimmy Carr, somebody who does like really dark shit.
He is.
I can't. Was it your joke? Did you bring that up?
No, I had a joke. I had a 9/11 joke, but
Maybe
it was. But it wasn't that. My joke was.
No, yeah, because
my joke-
yours was first time flying or
Maybe
something.
that's it. Maybe that's what
for
I'm thinking
at
of. I'm
least
like,
one
it's
person-
the worst joke I've ever heard. Of
Yeah, like this.
I mean,
guy
it's
needs-
Trey's joke.
This son of a bitch who came up with this joke. No heart.
Fudged, dude. No, because that joke is really funny.
That joke was my least favorite part of 9/11, and there are many, but my least favorite part is that it was at least one person's
Oh yeah,
first time to
First
fly.
time to fly.
Have I talked to you guys about how I don't remember anything about 9/11?
No, so you forgot
I was
it.
I was 7 years old.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything.
like not even like not. That's pretty crazy.
Nothing. I remember the day Michael Jackson died, like the back of my hand.
Oh, I remember that too. I was camping. Yeah,
That was my 9/11.
yeah.
Wow. Okay.
maybe.
You know, I think I said that once, and someone was like, "You shouldn't say that."
You should say it like
That's
like
very
a cashier
offensive.
at a gas station. It's a Tuesday. You're like, how are you doing? Like, oh, it's great. It's my Friday. And you're like, that's you with 9/11. You're like, oh, it's terrible. It was my 9/11 actually.
9/11.
It's my personal 9/11.
Yeah, just like the
when
most.
My mom said that my eyes were gross, and so then like.
Just the
calling
most
everything-
minor inconvenience. You just what a 9/11.
Do you know what that is? No, I forgot.
No, I do remember 9/11,
Yeah.
and I
Don't remember it at all.
I was 9, but it was so weird.
Old.
But then I know, but I also flew recently or quickly thereafter.
Yeah.
And I had a little racist 9-year-old moment.
Yeah.
And I actually I hadn't really thought about this a ton, but like there was definitely a Middle Eastern guy on our flight, and he had a turban and everything, and he got on the plane, and I literally like looked at him and I stared at him the entire time and watched him go by, and my heart started beating fast, and I felt so scared. And I'd always thought about that moment in terms of like, wow, like I just didn't know anything about the world, and like all I knew is what the news was telling me and what my very conservative area of the world was saying, you know?
Yeah.
Which I would be mortified if I could go back and hear all the things that were said then. But but like the sad thing that I think about when I look back in that memory now is like how I looked at that guy and followed him stared at him the entire. I know that I wasn't the only person doing that.
Yep.
You know? And I watched this wonderful show. It's called Rami. It's on Hulu. I don't know if you guys have seen it, It's so good, but it's about this Muslim guy in New York, and he's like 29 or something, and it's all about being a Muslim young adult in America and what it's like now, because it's set in present day. But then he has like these flashback episodes to like him as a kid after 9/11 and how all of his friends like turned on him and stuff.
Oh gosh,
it was so it's really like, heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's like
but
their
so good
too.
because that's a POV I never thought about.
Like,
and actually, I think that's when I remembered my personal experience with like staring at this Middle Eastern guy. And in my mind, as a 9-year-old kid, I was just smart. I was just being worldly. I was like, I've seen you on the news. You know what I mean? Which is crazy because like obviously I had people say racist things to me as a kid, you know, but like, oh, well, that's unfounded because I'm just me. But then me looking at someone and just because they are a certain religion or whatever, I'm like, no, you know what I mean? Like, it's just really
absolutely
not funny at all. Not a joke. Nope. I'm not joking.
Just like
but it is crazy to think about. Like, I mean, that was 21 years ago.
I mean, we did that in World War II with like the Japanese as well. Like,
well, they deserve it.
Well, let's stop there. Well, before I continue, I mean, we clearly all know. But that's it's interesting how we do that stuff. I remember this is terrible, and I actually, Phil, we're going to cut this. Well, actually, I probably shouldn't say this.
You have a 0 out of 10 track record for saying that.
That's true. Everything gets kept in. But I went to this museum. This guy had a World War II museum. He was an older white guy. He was neighbors with my friend, and he had all the sickest stuff in his basement. He had collected all this probably such expensive World War II. He had a bazooka. He let us hold a bazooka, like straight up from that stuff. And he had records from World War II. And he's like, "Hey, let's play some records." And he puts on this one. And it's like, we're back at the Japs since they bombed Pearl Harbor. And it was a upbeat, like happy, like we're gonna kill them. And I was like, and that stuck in my head forever. I was like, that, and I knew it at the time. I was like,
it gets stuck in your head sometimes. Like, what am I humming? Like, oh no.
They bombed Pearl Harbor. Good God. Can't you show? Because that could be a joke in the power of a jingle. Like the power, how powerful jingles are. They're back at the jab since they bombed. Oh my God. Because that's what it said.
Yeah, it's horrible.
I mean, have you seen like the Popeye though during that time? How racist the
No.
Popeye. They went full racism during World War II, and before that too. They were just racist.
Hold on, let me
and
think.
the Trail of Tears,
they diverted their racism.
Let's not forget slavery. Yeah, but anyway, yeah.
Well, wait, what were the Popeye episodes?
Oh, they have this World War II Popeye episode where it's like Popeye fighting the Japanese. I think it's just we watched it. We watched it in history class because we were learning about propaganda and all that stuff. And it's just it would be that's what's terrible. It's wild. It's like you're like looking around. You're talking like politically correct culture now that we live in. Mm-hmm. It's like even like I'm not really like a PC guy, but when you're seeing that, you're like, oh, I think we should turn this off. Like this
is wrong.
This is not right.
I am a disgusting human being
for
children partaking in this.
Yeah, I googled it on YouTube one time, and I think that was a mistake because I just wanted to like look it up, and I was like, I think you just kind of get that. Yeah, racist cartoons, and you're like, oh, this is a weird trap.
There's stuff that like Disney put out back in the 50s that's unwatchable. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and I'm not a sensitive person. I love a good joke and a history piece, but some of this stuff unwatchable, like how they portrayed black people in Disney cartoons, awful. Like, it's like what were you doing?
Like one of the worst things. I mean. And this is coming from a white guy, but like when you're watching like a Christmas movie from the 40s, and out of nowhere there's blackface, like egregious, aggressive, like the main characters, and everyone in the crowd's like, oh yeah, oh look at this dance they're doing, and they're wearing blackface. This is great, Christmas. And it like I forget which movie it was. I don't think it was White Christmas. It might have been White Christmas. I mean that would make a lot of sense.
They were all white.
But, yeah, dude.
That's why they were drinking about it.
Yeah, just because Aaron and I were watching some old Christmas movies, and it's like it happens, and you're like, dude, what? And this was just like totally kosher.
Yep. I think about that a lot. It's like I saw a sign. I was on Twitter because I wanted to be outraged. Yeah. And there was this thing. It's like there's no good reason to get on Twitter. You will just 100% guaranteed get mad.
Yeah.
Like you might get a funny video or something like that you laugh at, but then you're gonna leave mad. It's like the opposite of IHOP.
Yeah.
Come horny, leave angry. So I was just scrolling, and there was this thing that said no dogs, Negroes, or Indians, and it was like on a restaurant. It was like from the 50s.
From the 50s or from? Yeah, I was gonna say of recent. Just like I thought it was a recent thing.
Too recent for sure.
No,
you know?
definitely 50s.
But
yeah.
so I saw that, and it made me really upset, like unreasonably. Like you would think that it wasn't 60 years ago that it happened, but it made me upset at first, and then it made me just really grateful for like how the fact that is publicly now seen as awful,
heinous,
is great.
Yeah, I think that's a win. That's a win for
Yeah.
sure.
So it's like obviously we have a lot of shit to work through, but there are things that we're progressing in and getting better at. And I had a joke. I don't know if I'll ever do the joke. It might be one of those things that stays on in my journal and in this podcast forever, to cancel me later. But no, the idea is like people who complain about how we have things now, and like they never would have made it back in the day. Yeah. Like the things that they complain about now are like pale in comparison to how it was then. Yeah. And like the premise is like imagine imagine someone from today trying to explain a microaggression to a slave.
Yeah.
Like, someone who came from back in time. Yep. And they're like, what's a microaggression? And you're like, well, it's when like they're not racist, but like the way that they like looked at you, it made you feel like they were kind of being racist. It's like, oh, really? Do you know what they did when they were racist to me? So I don't know if that's something that's like would be a joke or actually just like an essay about, I don't know, progress or. It's a sensitive topic. It is. But what are you going to do?
A little bit.
Maybe leave it alone. Maybe just go there.
Maybe just do it.
I'm feeling frisky. Let's do it.
All right, guys. What should we call it?
Well, we covered
2 hours?
Will Smith.
Yep.
We covered jokes, racism, 9/11.
Yep.
Hitler's penis.
Yep.
I don't.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to re-listen to this one at that and see how offensive that was. Because the fact that both of you were like, "Oh," I'm like, "Oh, was it?"
Wait,
that?
what did you say?
No, Hitler's penis is funny.
Oh no.
I at my 9/11 stuff.
Oh, what's your 9/11 stuff?
Because you both were like, "Ugh."
I said
like,
that.
Yeah, because when I was talking about what Michael Jackson's death being my 9/11.
Oh no, it was just to be funny. No, I think that what I said afterwards was how I feel about that. It's funny how like people even now that it's been 20 years will take 9/11. It's like, oh, 9/11 is like a thing that just happens.
Yeah.
like
it's the worst.
Yeah, my 9/11 was this listening to this podcast episode. Yeah. Was my 9/11.
Oh, man.
No, I think it was great. Cool. Well, I'm super excited, guys. This is literally, if you're listening to this episode, then tomorrow is our comedy show.
Oh, I just joked.
Holy smokes!
And I'm literally physically
I had to
joking.
take a deep breath to be shocked, and then I choked.
Hopefully you don't do that tomorrow at our comedy show.
We will see.
This is weird. This is like a time capsule.
It really is. We're talking to ourselves in the future. But it's going to be great. We're going to do 2 shows, April 8th and 9th, 8 o'clock, both nights. Should be a good time. There's going to be drinks available. Yes. Tickets are only $15. If you have not yet bought your tickets, there are probably still some left for the Saturday show. The Friday show is filling up as of March 30th.
Yeah.
With already 80 out of 100 tickets sold. So, but we hope to see you there.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed this podcast, and we really hope that you will enjoy our live stuff, us actually getting on stage and doing the things we've been talking about for the past 10 weeks.
Wow.
12 weeks if you count the gaps.
Yeah. And folks, if you're listening, you don't need to get a drink. It's not a 2-drink minimum. It's if you want. So if you just want to spend $15 on your ticket, that's it.
It's an 8-drink minimum, actually. I didn't do that much.
Oh, by the way,
people have to be. I almost
If you have to be shit-faced.
I almost said blackface. Because I was combining blacked out and shit-faced.
Oh, that's the biggest mistake. Oh, dude, I got blackface last night.
Come blackface to get in for free.
If you're in blackface, you're going to laugh at the jokes a lot harder.
Or you are going to be the joke of the show. And with that, we should sign off.
Yeah.
I'm Trey Ellis.
I'm Evan Pearson.
And I'm Mitchell Mack. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.